In one of the last videos, we had a red Dodge Ram, and I'm going to pretty much show you the exact same thing on this gray Dodge Ram. Unfortunately, we can't follow the work on the red Ram because the videos got messed up, and then I didn't take one of the finished products. So we're just going to start that series over with this truck, and we'll try to keep the video shorter. This is a 2020, I believe. It's a 19 or a 20. Well, hang on a second. I got a sticker right here. Made by blah, 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 blah. Oh, it's an 18. So this is a 2018. Now, if you got 2009 all the way up to the last Ram Classic, which I think is 2021, 2022, whenever they stop making those, they're all the exact same truck, kind of. There's a few things that have changed here and there. At some point, the steering system changes. The headlights change. But anyway, there's a few variations, but the body is the same. I'm sure they might have changed some glue somewhere or whatever. But basically, they look like this with all the same panels and sizes. So what we're going to talk about is rocker panels. There's a rocker panel. You get a pair of these off of one of the stores selling through the Jungle store. So that's what they are, and I think they're 300. They work out to a little over $300 delivered to your door in Ontario, Canada, in Canadistan money. So that's pretty good. They're thick, good metal. They weld fairly well. Can't remember where they're made, but it's not China. It's, I believe, probably Taiwan or something. It don't matter at any rate. Of course, they're offshore. And then you can get a set of these cab corners for about $120 with the tax and everything shipped to your door. And they're definitely 18 gauge, possibly fatter. They're surprisingly thick. Now, the sheet metal on these trucks is that modern super thin crap that just rots away. Now, in some cases, they give you an extra piece that comes up to here, and then it's cut like so. And usually if your rocker's okay, you can put a little patch here in the corner and weld that right to it and fill it, and you're good. But the rest seems to come up to this edge here, and this edge seems to be the break. Just like the rockers, they come up to this edge and they seem to stop here. It's almost like the humidity stays below those two hard cuts, which I guess is good. Now what I do is I cut it off about here, all the way across, up past the rust, and I grind all these little spots, and I like to plug weld them on. Now people say if you lap weld something, humidity, blah, blah, blah. It's all been protected on the backside with this product over here. We'll show you these. Now we're going to talk about these. Let's see, we got our self-etch. We got our copper weld-through. All right, so copper weld-through, at least from this brand, I find you better make sure your metal's clean again, because welding through this is kind of like dirty welding. I'm not super happy with it. Now, this one is the zinc weld-through coating, cold galvanizing. You can weld right through this. I prefer this one. Now, what do I mean by that? On the last truck, how I'm going to explain this, basically, I make all these holes with a flange tool hole punch. I set the rocker in place. There's a few where we run a few body screws in, a few ripper screws. You can use Clecos, whatever you want. Once we have everything in place and we're happy and the fitment's good, I'll take a marker, like a Sharpie, and we'll mark all those. Then when I take it off, I'll just grind the paint off enough that there's clean metal. And then I'll hold a piece of cardboard there, and I'll just hit that with the galvanizing stuff I showed you. Now, when I do it with the copper, the welds are a little dirty. When I do it with the galvanized weld-through primer, which is a high zinc primer, it seems to be okay. And you don't load on coats. You put a coat on to protect it. It's almost see-through. Doesn't matter. Good enough. Leave it alone. Now, the whole back side of this rocker, we also shot with that. You can use a self-etch or something like that too. But usually what I'll do is I'll go across the edges where all the holes are, You know, in the middle will be whatever it is. And then once that dries for about an hour, I'll hit it with some self-etch primer, which is the other can I showed you. You know, just to coat it, and it is a little bit cheaper, right? So the back side of these rockers are painted. We're going to go in here. We're also going to drill a couple holes in various places, and we're going to soak the whole inside of this with oil, your dripless undercoating oil. Now, in the case of the last truck, we came up to about here with our patch panel, because even though the other truck was a little newer than this one and a little bit better shape overall, this spot at the back, for some reason, the rust inside crawls way up. Now in this one it didn't crawl up, but it totally ate the corners out. Now you can cut them here. There's a body line right here, and I find if I stay, you know, 3/4 of an inch, and then when this is hot, I tap it in with the hammer. So when I fill this, there's going to be a body line right here. So we can kind of blend it into that body line, and you know, it's a very soft body line. So if you're not perfect, it'll help you out, right? And if I take this on an angle, you can see that it's on the same plane. So once we grind our weld out, that'll flush right out with a skim coat. Now the downside to using these corners with these rockers, the rocker is cut down here and comes up and then has this hard angle, and they don't seem to fit well together. So I'll mark a line here, and this has been flanged, so it kind of steps in behind this, and it leaves a little bit of gap that I can play with, and I just fill that with weld. You want to weld this solid, no humidity's getting in or out, but it leaves a hole right here, because this is where the corner stops, and this is where this piece is made. So this is the extra piece off here, and down at the bottom it's got one of those bends in it, so it'll kind of match. Once we grind this all smooth, skim coat again with filler, it'll all look good. Now what I like to do up here is I'll put a tape and I'll run it inside this edge, and then down here we'll come in and we'll sand that all fairly rough. We'll do a little bit of fiberglass reinforced filler in here, shape it a little bit, skim coat of filler, sand it, make it nice. We do grind all these off, and again we'll run a skim coat of filler just across that little edge just to make it nice. Now what you could do, and I used to do it, is I'd cut these down about to here. I'd cut that off, and then you can just weld the edge. But then you almost want to weld the whole entire edge. I don't think that's necessary. I kind of like the plug welds. I find if I try to pull them apart, you can't. Like, they're really on there. I'm just going to plug weld it. This vehicle, they use resistance welding. That's where two electrodes come together, squeeze the metal, and it melts them together. You can pretty much take an air chisel anywhere. You don't got to drill them out or nothing, and they will blast right apart. These won't. So as far as I'm concerned, this is plenty solid. Now across the bottom, did the same thing the factory did. Of course, we again plug welded with the MIG. I've got one of these. If you look in here, that's the piece that makes your hole. That's a hole punch, and then here's your flange. So that's a 2-in-1 tool. Now I've got one that makes a big hole and one that makes a small hole. And the cool thing about that, when you got two pieces of sheet metal together, and it's not overly thick, right? Because it's just this and this. You start in the middle, bring it up, you give it a little swirl, swirl and a half, and it fills it. And most of them should look, you know, pretty nice. So I'll use the smaller hole for that, and that's plenty. But on the bottom, there is places where we had to go through 3 layers. There was a piece of inner structure back in here. It was about 32 inches long. The bottom was rusted. We cut that out. We put a 32-inch strip in, welded the top, and then we had our holes all set up to line up with these holes, so we welded into the steel. The inner structure was okay. Like, there's an inner rocker, the structure, and then the outer rocker. So when we fixed that inner structure, the inner rocker in this case was perfect. So we were able to weld to that, bring our weld into the new piece, and then continue into this piece. Like, you know, it took a couple. So you want a bigger hole, because you might go a little bit, stop halfway through, let it cool a second, and then start again, you know, 2-3 times, right, till you get it. But anyway, that's something that you'll get good at with a little bit of practice. And at the end of the day, it's always going to look rough and tough like this. You see here, there's one right here, real nice round one. That was a screw hole from holding this corner in. And we had one of those. Well, on the other side, there's one here, here, and down here. And sometimes the corners fit really good. Like this one took that screw there and a couple clamps. On the other side, we had to kind of pull it in. And I've noticed when I buy these, the passenger side corner always seems to be a little tighter to fit than the driver's side. But door gap is pretty good, so we're happy. They fit the truck. We've got a fit cab corner, and it didn't cost us retail gazillion dollars, right? Just realized I missed something here. Gonna have to take that screw out and weld that. Now, something to be aware of, about an inch above where this is, right up in here, when you look up underneath, there's this spray foam in there. It can potentially burn. So what we do is we always leave one of the screw holes open in there, and we do our weld, and we put air, and we blow it. We are a little bit away from it. We should be all right, but we check, double check, and make sure we blow air and take our time. And I believe it's up in here, so these ones are safe. This one's not bad, but here's where it gets deadly. So we left an open hole. You can see a double weld here. We had an open hole here where we could blow in, and then at the end, we gave that a quick weld just to close the hole. And up in the front, inside the A-pillar, the same thing. So you'll see where the weld stops. And we've got one screw here. We're going to loosen that screw. Actually, it's not tight. We're going to fill this corner and top with a 2-part panel bond. And we're basically going to panel bond that, put our screw back in. And that's because we're not blowing this whole truck apart. So you can see how that is there. Now the fender will move like this, and we'll use the 2K panel bond to go down there just to seal off that edge. Now the bottom is welded because it's away from any of that spray foam crap again. Now will it burn and keep going? I don't know, but if you pull a bit of it out on the ground and throw it, in one of the last videos I put up, I lit a little chunk of it on fire that came out of a caravan just so you could see how quick it burns and how dirty and black the smoke is. Pretty nasty stuff. I figured they put that crap in there to make things seem solider, you know, make it more comfortable or sound different, quieter. But at the end of the day, it kind of sucks. Now, every once in a while, when you're doing something this long, if you're a little bit off, you'll want to pucker out a little bit. As you can see, I did weld some across the top. Now here where the guy gets out of the truck, that was all boot rubbed out. That's why it's all ground. We will be painting up into here, and then we'll bring that across down, and you get the idea. So we're going to repaint that step. Back here, we're just going to come off from the front. We're going to go right along in here and probably come up into here. Here we'll come up and go to that body line, because obviously this step is fine. So let's go double check the other side to see how we made it. Yeah, the welder's still sitting here kind of in the way, but that's all right. So here's our other side. And as you can see, the other one had a screw here. Here we had to put it here because just to get it to fit. But it fits pretty good. We welded back to here. And from here back, we're going to seam seal that shut. And then we'll paint up to here. And we're good with that. Now, in the other video, I think with the red truck where I lost all the footage. Anyway, we had the box off and sitting back. But at any rate, we don't have to do that with this one. When we seam seal back in there and paint it, nobody's going to know the difference. Except me and the owner, and he's good with it. You can see how this is welded all the way around. And I know it's kind of a funny place to cut it, but that seems to be where I can smooth it out to look the best. Again, this side's welded. The bottom is welded solid all the way across. Now, when we grind those and skim coat them, we're going to use fiberglass reinforced filler. because that stuff is a little more waterproof. So should there be a pinhole or something in there somewhere, that'll seal it. And we're not going to make it nice with that stuff. We're going to squash that in tight to fill any of the little gaps, any little hollows, any pinholes. Give that a quick sand, and then we're just going to use our regular body filler to make it clean. You know, like all along that edge right there, just a skim coat of regular body filler. We'll sand it so it looks nice and round, and you won't even be able to tell that that was done. Yeah, this side, same idea. Weld it all the way across. Here's a good tip. Got my finger here just so that it'll focus. You can see that it's all swirled. This has all been sanded a couple of times with 180. Do that before you install them, because if that's shiny, nothing's going to stick to it good. And there is oil on these, so you got to wash them and clean them. You can feel it on your fingers when you take them out of the plastic. And cleaning them when they're installed and trying to sand would suck. You're sitting on the floor. So, you know, do them first. So now when we come and we grind off all those, we can give it a wipe down. It's ready for primer and paint. Now as for fitment, I find they always stick out a little more. There's a little lip in there. We trimmed it down till it fit in as good as it can. I like to shim these out because if you look, I find most of these trucks, the door is out a bit past. So we're going to shim this fender out when we bolt it on. And when we match it to the door, it matches the rocker well enough. You could always play with that, cut a little more material out and work on it. Now, if you're really, really picky, you can take the fender right off. You can cut and weld this and pull it in. Again, there's foams and stuff inside the pillars. If you don't want to deal with that, we stop welding right about here to avoid that, and we just glue that corner. Now, a lot of the body shops today, from what I understand, the bigger collision shops, a lot of them will glue these on and put a gazillion clamps to hold everything in place. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way of doing it. But they're also probably using the bigger panel, which you would weld up into here with all this rubber and stuff. That's all got to come out, comes up and across up here. And I assume they're gluing up in here again, because who knows what's inside the pillars. There's nothing wrong with doing it that way either. But you really got to make sure you have places to clamp. And I find with these rockers, the only way to clamp this tight would be to have a big enough clamp to reach in underneath. But you got to put quite a bit on so you don't have this going on. Anywhere where it's not tight, the body panel adhesive won't hold. So I find with these trucks, these particular rockers seem to work really, really well. If you look, you can see where they almost stick out past the door. Most Rams are like that. And then at the back, they almost taper into flush. And I think the idea there is that the edge won't get sandblasted. But the cool thing is the door does fit just inside the rocker all the way down. So you're going to save that bottom edge from, well, especially if you got wheels that stick out like this guy, right? He's throwing gravel down this truck. He just put these on for this year or so. They look really cool, and it's a mean looking little truck with the wheels that are on it. But he's probably going to get all stone chipping going on, right? So do you care? And that's the thing, right? That's to each his own. But at any rate, next we're going to grind off all our welds. We're going to do our body work. I'll probably show it to you again either when it's in primer, possibly when it's finished. I get pretty busy and I don't always got time to make videos. But hopefully this can be helpful to somebody out there. Thanks for watching.